The Earth of the near future is a world teetering on the edge, a fragile alliance forged by necessity rather than unity. Global cooperation, once seen as the shining hope of human potential, is now marred by deep-seated political tensions. Countries outwardly present a united front, but behind closed doors, long-standing rivalries fester. Nations jockey for control of resources, technology, and power, their trust in each other fraying with each passing day. In the towering steel cities of New Berlin, beneath the gleaming surface of technological marvels, humanity remains vulnerable. Earth's new technological age has given rise to unimaginable advances: artificial intelligence, space exploration, and bioengineering. But it has also created new challenges, problems far too complex for the fragile global system to address. While Earth's leaders pretend to hold hands in the name of peace, the world unknowingly braces for an invasion that will force them to set aside their differences. An alien threat lurks just beyond the stars, ready to exploit the cracks in Earth's defenses. The stage is set for a war that will shake the planet to its core, but humanity remains blissfully unaware of the storm gathering in the depths of space. The Shalkari Empire, a cold and calculating force of ruthless invaders, has been silently observing Earth for decades. Operating in the shadows, their fleet slips through the void, undetected by Earth's most advanced defenses. The Shalkari are no strangers to war. An empire built on conquest and subjugation, their ambition stretches across the galaxy like a cancer, infecting the stars with their unyielding desire for domination. For years, the Shalkari have been abducting Earth's children. These innocent souls, taken from their homes, are subjected to cruel experiments and forced into military servitude. The Shalkari believe the strength of their empire comes not from their technology, but from their ability to break and mold others into obedient soldiers. The children are altered, twisted by cruel genetics, and forced to serve their masters. As the empire's influence grows, so does the brutality of their methods. What started as small, isolated raids is now becoming a coordinated effort to harvest Earth's youth, creating a massive reservoir of soldiers ready to fight for the Shalkari cause. But the Empire's arrogance leads them to underestimate Earth's potential. Humanity's capacity for survival and rebellion will soon prove to be more than they ever anticipated. The Shalkari's grip on Earth may be tightening, but their arrogance is about to become their undoing. Captain Ilara Voss stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. A former child soldier, she has risen from the ashes of her past into one of Earth's most formidable military leaders. Once a frightened girl, ripped from her family and thrust into the heart of the Shalkari war machine, Ilara now commands with an icy calm born from years of suffering and survival. Her memories are haunted by the cold, emotionless eyes of her captors and the ceaseless drills that turned her into a weapon. She remembers the screams of her fellow captives, their innocence stripped away by alien hands. The guilt of surviving when so many didn't weighs heavily on her heart, yet she carries the pain with a quiet dignity. Her cold demeanor masks a fire that burns within her. Ilara is not just a military strategist, she is the embodiment of humanity's refusal to be broken. She has seen firsthand the horrors of the Shalkari, and knows that the only way to end their reign of terror is to fight back, relentlessly and without mercy. Her strategic brilliance is only matched by the fury she feels toward those who took her youth. She will not stop until the Shalkari Empire is brought to its knees.
Juno is a living testament to the human will to survive. Once a frightened child, torn from her family during a brutal Shalkari raid, she has now become a symbol of Earth's undying hope. Rescued from captivity and adopted by Captain Ilara Voss, Juno embodies everything Earth stands for: the spirit of resistance, the power of love, and the unbreakable drive to protect future generations. Juno's presence in Ilara's life is both a comfort and a reminder of the devastation wrought by the Shalkari. The child has seen more horrors than any child should ever endure, yet she carries herself with a quiet strength that mirrors Ilara's own. Her small frame belies the depth of her resilience. She is the light in a world darkened by alien oppression. To Earth's resistance fighters, Juno represents more than just the children lost to the Shalkari. She represents the future of humanity. She is a beacon of hope for those who fight, a constant reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always the possibility for survival, for revenge, and for a better future. Beneath the surface of Earth's fragile political unity, a secret war is already being waged. A clandestine group of military leaders, intelligence officers, and strategists has long suspected the true nature of the Shalkari Empire's plans. These leaders, realizing the scale of the threat, have begun to prepare Earth's military for a counterattack, although they dare not reveal the truth to the public. Panic would be disastrous, and the governments know that the people are not ready for the truth. Human ingenuity is in full swing. Secret research on advanced weapons, new technologies designed to combat the Shalkari, and plans for coordinated resistance across the planet are all underway. But the deeper the preparations go, the more the question lingers. When will it be time to reveal the truth to the public? When will humanity realize that the time for peace has passed and the time for war has arrived? The hidden truth is clear. Humanity is not defenseless, but the question remains, will they be ready in time? The world may be unaware of the impending war, but behind the scenes, Earth's finest minds are preparing for the greatest battle they've ever faced. The tipping point arrives in the early hours of the morning. A Shalkari raid, brutal and swift, descends on the school in New Berlin. The alien ships descend from the sky, snatching children from their classrooms, vanishing into the void with their innocent cargo. The world watches in horror as video footage of the abduction circulates online. The sight of Earth's children being taken once again awakens the anger that has simmered beneath the surface for years. The global response is immediate. Governments cannot deny the truth any longer. Riots break out across the globe, citizens demanding justice, demanding revenge. Earth's leaders scrambled to respond, but they can no longer hide the truth. The Shalkari are here, and they are taking Earth's children. But the chaos is just beginning. In the midst of the turmoil, Captain Ilara Voss is called to lead the charge. She is no longer just a survivor. She is the symbol of Earth's defiance. The world is no longer divided. It is united in its rage. The tipping point has come, and humanity will not rest until the Shalkari are brought to their knees. With the truth now laid bare, Captain Ilara Voss stands at the helm of Earth's rebellion. The weight of the world rests on her shoulders as she prepares to lead humanity's charge against the Shalkari Empire. The mission is clear. Fight back, reclaim what has been stolen, and protect the future of Earth's children. For Ilara, this war is personal. It is a chance for vengeance, a chance to right the wrongs that have shaped her life. But it is also about something greater. It is about humanity's place in the universe, about standing up to those who would crush their spirit and rob them of their future. As she rallies her troops, Ilara knows that this will be the defining battle of humanity's existence. The world may have been vulnerable before, but now, united in purpose, Earth stands ready to prove that it is far stronger than its enemies ever imagined. This is the moment when the rebellion is born, and the Shalkari Empire will soon learn that underestimating humanity was their greatest mistake. The Orion Vanguard, Earth's hastily formed interstellar fleet, glided through the blackness of space like a predator hunting its prey. The flicker of distant stars was all that illuminated their path, yet it was what lay ahead that chilled the bones of every crew member. On the command bridge, Captain Ilara Voss stood at the forefront, eyes fixed on the holographic data streams cascading in front of her. But something was off. Her fingers hovered over the console, and her thoughts ran 100 miles a minute. Then, the transmission came in, an intercepted broadcast from an encrypted Shalkari channel, decoded by their best intelligence experts. "What are we looking at?" Ilara's voice was low, but carried the weight of 1,000 unsaid words. The officer at the comm station looked back with a mix of horror and disbelief. It's not just the human children they've been abducting. It's species across the galaxy, not just soldiers, Captain. They're turning them into tools of war. The words hit like a blow. The truth sunk in, slow and suffocating. The Shalkari, an enemy previously thought to be focused only on their conquest, had been trafficking in life itself in the most horrific manner imaginable. The innocent, abducted, twisted into instruments of destruction. For the first time in years, Ilara Voss felt the weight of their existence, knowing that her people, Earth's fleet, had unknowingly been facing a war far more insidious and widespread than they could have ever imagined. The galaxy was full of terror, yes, but now the Shalkari had taken the most precious thing humanity had ever created, its children, and stripped them of their humanity. "This changes everything," Ilara whispered, looking down at her hands. The officers around her shared the same horror. As the realization spread through the command room, one thing became clear. Earth was facing a new kind of war, one where there was no innocent. Everyone was a pawn in the Shalkari game, and they were on the verge of finding out just how far-reaching their enemy was. The air was thick with the scent of burnt metal and ionized particles as the stealth ship slipped past the outer defenses of a Shalkari retrieval station. Ilara stood on the bridge, her gaze unwavering as her thoughts remained with one person, her adopted daughter, Juno. Juno's voice echoed through her mind, reminding Ilara of the softness in her touch, the laughter that filled the quiet corners of her heart. But now, that softness was under threat. As Ilara watched the digital map, a pulse of red flickered, sending alarms blaring throughout the ship. Her heart sank. They found us. They know where Juno is. Juno was just a child, an innocent caught in the twisted nightmare the Shalkari had unleashed upon the universe. The thought of losing her again, of her being taken by the same monsters who had manipulated the galaxy's children into soldiers, tore at her resolve. A sharp voice crackled through the comms. "We're too late, Captain. The Shalkari are already closing in." In that moment, Ilara's pulse quickened. The Shalkari weren't just a distant threat. They were targeting Earth, her home, her heart, and now they were targeting her daughter. She clenched her fists, fire burning in her chest. Juno's close call served as a bitter reminder that the Shalkari's reach was endless, their cruelty unimaginable. Lara wasn't just a military leader anymore. She was a mother, driven by rage and fear, standing on the precipice of war.
The space around Earth had grown darker as the first interstellar dreadnoughts, battered but strong, entered the star-filled void of deep space. On board, Ilara Voss and her officers stared at the tactical display. The Shalkari Empire had once been a looming shadow on their sensors, a threat known but distant. Now it was closing in, and humanity was woefully unprepared. Ilara's mind raced. Earth's fleet, while formidable, was still an infant compared to the juggernaut of Shalkari warships. Their dreadnoughts, though powerful, lacked the precision, speed, and devastating firepower the Shalkari had perfected over centuries. Every tactic they had rehearsed, every simulation they'd run, was about to be put to the test in a way they could never have prepared for. "Captain!" A voice broke through her thoughts, and she turned to see Lieutenant Ferris standing at her side, his face grim. "Their fleet has been operational for generations. We're still learning how to fight in their territory. We have no guarantee of survival." "I know," Ilara replied, her voice firm, though doubt twisted in her gut. "But Earth has one thing they don't." Ferris raised an eyebrow. "What's that, ma'am?" "Us," she said simply. "We have humanity's will, and that will make all the difference." But even as she spoke, the doubt lingered. They were outclassed in every sense, tactically, technologically, and psychologically. The Shalkari had conquered civilizations with ease. Could Earth really defy the odds?
Alara's voice rang out through the command room, steady and resolute, cutting through the palpable tension. We strike at their heart. We go after the breeding and indoctrination centers. Her plan was nothing short of audacious. The Shalkari strength lay not just in their military, but in the twisted system that turned abducted children into mindless soldiers. Earth's mission wasn't to wage conventional warfare. It was to cut the root of the Shalkari's power and cripple their ability to continue their war machine. But the risks were astronomical. Striking at the core of the Shalkari Empire meant venturing deep into their territory, where failure could mean the end of humanity's last chance at survival. Yet Ilara knew there was no other choice. If we don't disrupt these centers, we're not just fighting a war. We're fighting a losing battle. We target their weakest link, their children, and we show them the cost of enslaving innocence. Her officers, once hesitant, now stood behind her, ready to face the unknown. If this plan succeeded, it would deal a blow to the Shalkari that would echo through the stars. But if they failed, Earth might never recover from the consequences. The command bridge was quieter now, as Alara stood before her team, contemplating the weight of the decision ahead. "This isn't just about winning the war," she said, her voice steady, but filled with a quiet urgency. "We will send a message to the galaxy. We will not be the victims of the Shalkari." The plan had shifted from military strategy to moral rebellion. Ilara's decision was radical, cutting through the red tape of typical warfare. She would strike at the heart of the Shalkari's oppressive empire, not just for victory, but for the very soul of every enslaved child across the galaxy. But Alara knew the cost. The emotional weight was crushing. The war was no longer a faceless battle. It was personal. Every life lost, every sacrifice made, would now carry the faces of the children they fought for. And yet, despite the weight, she stood resolute. "We do this for them," Ilara whispered to herself, her gaze turning inward.
The next few days felt like a blur. Endless drills, interstellar simulations, and hurried preparations. The tension was palpable as Earth's military geared up for the most dangerous operation in its history. The Shalkari had already mobilized, their forces massive and terrifying. Earth's ships, though powerful, had yet to truly engage in deep space warfare, and the uncertainty of their untested strategies loomed large. Ilara knew that the stakes had never been higher. "Everything's in motion, Captain," Ferris said, his voice tinged with nervous energy. Ilara's eyes locked onto the tactical display. The unknowns of space combat were terrifying, but even more so was the fear that humanity might fail to protect its children, fail to protect their future. "We may be outnumbered," Ilara said, her voice cold and focused, "but we have one thing they don't: each other." The silence on the bridge was deafening as Ilara surveyed the crew, their faces etched with determination. The fleet was ready, just days away from venturing into the heart of Shalkari space. Yet despite the preparations, a quiet moment of reflection had fallen over her. She thought of Juno, of Earth, of everything they had sacrificed to get to this point. This wasn't just another mission, it was a battle for their souls. "We're ready," she said, her voice steady despite the storm that raged within her. "Now we see if humanity can rise." Her gaze swept across the room. Everyone was ready, and soon they would find out if their fight for freedom would echo across the stars, or if the Shalkari would crush them without hesitation. As the countdown to war began, the collective weight of their mission hung heavy, but it was a weight they all shared. Together, they would face the storm. Location: Earth's military command center, hidden beneath a barren, war-raged landscape. The air is thick with tension. Holographic maps flicker and buzz with military strategy projections, their bright lights harsh against the dark shadows of war-weary faces. Voss, the determined commander, stands at the center of the table as she reviews the plans for Earth's final assault on the Shalkari. The weight of the universe is on her shoulders, but it's not the alien threat that makes her pause. It's the whispering undercurrent of sabotage from within. Voss's voice is low but firm. They're working against us. I can feel it. There's something off. Her trusted advisor, Captain Marlowe, stands by her side, his brow furrowed with suspicion. Sabotage? From inside our own ranks? Yes. Resources aren't reaching the front lines, orders are delayed, and reports manipulated. We're being held back from winning this war before we even begin. As Voss scans the room, she spots a few high-ranking officers engaged in hushed conversations, their eyes darting with nervous energy. She knows the signs of internal corruption all too well. Cut to Voss's internal monologue. Trust is the foundation of any war, but when that trust is shattered, how do you fight? The Shalkari are deadly, but the enemy within, that is the true betrayal. The sound of a blaring alarm interrupts her thoughts. An emergency message flashes on the command center's central screen. It's from a distant front. A sudden shift in the Shalkari offensive, the worst possible timing. The traitors within Earth's ranks had known this would happen. Voss clenches her fists. No more hesitation. I'll handle this personally. Her eyes burn with resolve as she turns toward Marlowe. Prepare it, team. We hunt the traitors.
Location: a neutral alien world, perched on the edge of a forgotten star system. Voss stands in the middle of a tense diplomatic meeting, surrounded by alien leaders whose faces are unreadable. The galaxy is full of ancient grudges, and the Shalkari's tyranny has caused wounds deep within these species. Now they must decide whether to trust humanity, an unknown player in the galaxy's complex game. Across from her stands Talora, a towering alien, scales glinting like metallic armor under the fluorescent lights. Talora:
You humans think you can change the fate of this war? You claim to be the salvation, but you've failed before. What makes you worthy of our trust? Voss: Because we fight for something more than survival. We fight for the future, for all of us. We may be young, but we've faced extinction before, and we survived. Talora's eyes narrow, analyzing her. The tension is palpable. Talora: Survival is not enough. The Shalkari will come for us all, regardless of your ideals. Voss: And that's why we must unite. The Shalkari don't care about us. They care only about their power. And we have the chance to take that away. The Alien Council murmurs, their unease evident. A fragile silence lingers before Talora speaks again. Talora: We will give you a chance, human. But remember this, your actions will determine if this alliance holds. Voss nods, the weight of the decision pressing heavily upon her. Location: a small, dimly lit room aboard the Orion Vanguard. Voss stares into the reflection of her own eyes in the mirror, but all she sees is a terrified version of herself, a young girl trapped in the clutches of the Shalkari. Her mind flashes back to the days of captivity, the endless tortures, and the faces of those she couldn't save. Her breath quickens as her pulse races. Voss' voice trembles as she speaks to herself in the reflection, whispering, Am I worthy? Can I lead them? Can I save them? Or will I fail them too? Behind her, Juno enters, her youthful face a beacon of hope. She looks at her mother, the sadness in her eyes matched only by the fierce determination she's inherited from Voss. Juno: You've already saved me, Mom. That's more than anyone could ever ask for. Voss's breath catches, and she turns toward her daughter, her heart breaking at the weight of her own self-doubt. Voss: But what if I can't save everyone else? Juno steps forward, placing a small hand on her mother's arm,
her eyes locked on Voss's with an understanding beyond her years. "Juno, you're not alone. We'll do this together." Voss closes her eyes, the burden lifting just slightly as she finds a renewed strength in her daughter's belief in her. Location: the Orion Vanguard strategy room. The tension in the room is thick as Voss and her command crew analyze the Shalkari's movements. But Juno, seated quietly in the corner, is not participating in the heated discussions. Instead, her mind is attuned to something far beyond the physical realm. Her telepathic abilities, a gift from her partial implants, allow her to tap into the enemy's communications, gleaning insights that no one else could. Her voice cuts through the room, calm yet powerful. "Juno, they're planning an ambush. They're trying to bait us into a trap at Gamma 9. It's not what they seem." The crew looks at Juno, shocked by her accuracy. Voss nods slowly, her heart swelling with pride and admiration. "Voss, trust her. Juno is the key to beating them." Juno smiles shyly, but her eyes shine with the weight of the responsibility she carries. Voss turns to the crew, her voice firm. "Voss, prepare for a counterstrike. We move before they realize we know."
Location: the training arena aboard the Orion Vanguard. The human soldiers of Earth stand awkwardly, facing rows of alien weaponry and technology they have never touched before. The advanced gadgets hum with unknown energy, their sleek forms intimidating to the untrained eye. Voss, now fully in command, steps forward. Her voice is steady but filled with authority. "This is not going to be easy. You'll fail, you'll make mistakes, but you're human, and you'll adapt. We always do." As she demonstrates how to operate a Shalkari plasma rifle, the soldiers fumble, clumsy and uncertain. Tension crackles in the air as each misstep brings them closer to the dangerous edge of failure. One soldier, trembling, nearly activates a plasma grenade, nearly killing himself and several others. Voss rushes forward, grabbing his hand just in time. "Focus. Learn. We don't have time for fear." As the crew trains, their bonds grow stronger. They realize that the only way to survive is to trust in each other, adapt, and push beyond their limits. Location: Shalkari battlefront in the midst of a space strike. The strike was supposed to be their moment of glory, the first step in taking the war to the Shalkari. But disaster strikes. The fleet falls into a trap set by the enemy, their advanced weaponry too much to overcome. Ships explode, and Earth's forces are left in disarray. Voss watches in horror as the command center flashes red with warning signals. Voss shouts, "Abort! Fall back!" But it's too late. The battle is lost. Hundreds of soldiers perish in the explosion. The devastation is overwhelming. As the crew regroups, the weight of the failure sinks in. Voss stands before her team, her voice heavy with the burden of responsibility. "We will rebuild. We will keep fighting. This is not over." Location: a hidden Shalkari laboratory. Voss's heart stops as the team uncovers the true horror. The children abducted by the Shalkari aren't just prisoners. They are living weapons, their minds linked directly to the Empire's control hubs. One of the soldiers stumbles back, horrified. They're controlling them." Voss's face hardens. This discovery changes everything. The fate of Earth's soldiers is now tied to the innocent lives of these children. To strike at the Shalkari might mean condemning them to death. "We will find another way. We can't let them die for our war." Location: Earth's War Council. The war is no longer just about defeating the Shalkari. It's a battle for the soul of humanity. As Voss faces the hard choices before her, she knows the stakes. She's forced to weigh the greater good against the cost of human lives, both those on Earth's side and the innocent children caught in the crossfire. Voss looks around the room, at the faces of her crew, her family. She feels the burden of their trust, of the lives hanging in the balance. We fight for humanity's soul. We fight because we are human, and we refuse to become the monsters we fight against. The room falls silent, the weight of her words settling over them. And for the first time in a long while, there's hope in their eyes. The Shalkari capital, a fortress of unyielding control. The Shalkari capital looms ahead, a forbidding moon encased in a web of defensive systems that seem almost alive. It is a place of unyielding control, where every building, every tower, serves as a testament to the alien empire's grip over its people. The atmosphere is dense, suffocating, an oppressive weight presses down on those who dare approach. Inside the biocore, a sprawling labyrinth of high-tech machinery and pulsating organic nodes hums with an unsettling rhythm. The Shalkari use it not just for power, but to bind their enslaved armies, children stolen from across the galaxy and controlled by neural interfaces. These are not just soldiers, they are puppets, their wills stripped away and replaced with obedience to the Empire's dark command. Voss surveys the scene with grim determination. She feels a strange twist in her gut. These children, once free, are now mere shadows of themselves. The biocore is not only a physical fortress, but a psychological one. The Shalkari hold these souls in their grasp, and Voss's mission is to shatter that control. But she knows that to do so, they will have to navigate this fortress of alien design, where the very walls are designed to keep secrets and punish those who seek to uncover them. The tech here isn't just advanced, it's alien, in ways that make human ingenuity seem trivial. Voss breathes deeply. The stakes are high. This is not just about taking a building. It's about taking down an empire, one that thrives on the suffering of children. Infiltration, a stealth fleet's silent descent. The fleet moves silently through the blackness of space, cloaked in the shadows of the moon's orbit. No lights, no signals, only the whisper of engines struggling to remain hidden from Shalkari's sensors. Voss's heart beats in time with the fleet's stealthy advance. The ground team is ready, their path clear, but the risks are immense. Every moment in the shadows could be their last. As the team disembarks, they move with precision, guided by Voss's silent commands. Each step is calculated, the air tense with the fear of detection. Their surroundings are unfamiliar, alien corridors, strange metals and biotic matter that pulse with an unnatural rhythm. The walls themselves seem to hum with life, like the heartbeat of the Empire. Voss signals for silence and they continue deeper into the capital's bowels. She can feel the weight of the mission, the responsibility pressing on her like the very walls around them. They must reach the biocore without alerting the Shalkari forces that patrol these halls, highly trained, efficient, and merciless. Their presence could mean the end of everything. The further they go, the harder it becomes to stay unnoticed. One wrong move, one misstep, could expose them to the full wrath of the Shalkari. But Voss leads with a quiet resolve. She knows the risks, and she knows the stakes. This is humanity's last shot. If they fail here, the galaxy's children remain lost forever. Juno's choice, a brave step into the abyss. Juno stands before the biocore's central control, her body already trembling as the Shalkari implants hum to life. It's not just the machinery she's interfacing with, it's the very essence of the enemy's control. The biocore will try to take over her mind, twist it, use her as a tool of the Shalkari once again. The implants were designed to link her directly to the system, a bridge between the human and the Shalkari Empire. She could lose everything. Juno, you don't have to do this, Voss says, her voice tight with concern, her eyes dark with the fear of losing another child. Juno turns to face her, eyes filled with resolve and a deep sadness. If I don't do this, they'll never be free. The children will stay trapped forever, and I can't live with that, not after what I've seen. The weight of the decision hangs heavily between them. Voss wants to protect her. Juno is more than a soldier, she's family. But the mission is bigger than any one person. Juno is their only hope. Voss grips her daughter's shoulder, her voice barely above a whisper. Be careful, you're all I have left. Juno nods, a small, sad smile tugging at her lips before she steps into the core. The interface begins and her body jerks, fighting against the pull of the Shalkari system.
The gut-wrenching decision, risking Juno or letting the children suffer. Voss watches as Juno convulses, her body racked with the strain of interfacing with the biocore.
Every moment feels like an eternity, the fear of losing her daughter unbearable. The Shalkari system is trying to take her, trying to break her will. Voss is torn. If Juno stays connected, she risks becoming one with the Shalkari. But if she pulls her back, the children will remain in bondage. They'll never know freedom. Voss closes her eyes, taking a deep breath. She has to trust her. She has to trust that Juno will hold on. I trust you. Voss whispers to herself more than to Juno. Do it for them. Do it for all of us. She turns her attention to the team, her voice hardening. We don't stop. We finish this, no matter what it costs. The unpredictable weapon, humanity's last resort. The mission has reached its critical point, and time is running out. Voss's team has breached the final section of the biocore, but they face the Shalkari's final line of defense. The enemy is expecting brute force. They are expecting a physical assault. But Voss has one last trick up her sleeve. Broadcast it, she orders. Her fleet, hidden in the depths of the system, begins transmitting, a flood of humanity's greatest emotional weapons, the sweet, mournful tones of music, the soothing words of mothers calling their children, the powerful speeches of leaders who inspired hope across the world. The Shalkari are unprepared for this. They expect logic, calculation. They do not know how to deal with raw human emotion. The impact is immediate. The biocore flickers, the alien tech spasms as if in pain. The Shalkari forces are disoriented, unable to process the overwhelming flood of emotional resonance. It's chaos, the kind of chaos that no machine or empire can predict. The children rise from within. The music reverberates throughout the biocore, breaking the mental chains of the children. One by one they stir. The Shalkari's control slips. They begin to remember who they are, who they were. They remember their own humanity. Suddenly, a chorus of voices rises, soft at first, then louder. The children have broken free. They turn on their captors, the Shalkari, with a force that surprises even Voss. The biocore is no longer just a prison. It's the birthplace of a revolution. Voss's team charges forward, their weapons firing as they join the uprising. The battle is chaotic, but the tide is turning. The Shalkari never expected this. The children are not just fighting for their own freedom, they are fighting for the future of the galaxy. The fall of the Shalkari capital, a victory forged in fire. The final battle rages in the heart of the capital. The Shalkari are overwhelmed from within by the rebellion of their enslaved children, and from without by the might of Voss's fleet. The biocore shatters, its once impenetrable systems falling to the ferocity of humanity's spirit. The Shalkari are defeated, not just by force, but by the will of those they sought to control. The children, now free, stand victorious. Voss stands amidst the ruins, watching as the capital crumbles. The cost has been immense, but the victory is undeniable. The Shalkari Empire is no more. Aftermath. A new hope, but at what cost? The victory is bittersweet. The children are free, but many bear scars, physical and emotional, that cannot be erased. Voss, too, feels the weight of their sacrifice. The cost of war is never truly paid in victories alone. It is measured in the lives lost, the hearts broken, and the burdens carried. Humanity has won, but the road ahead is uncertain. There is still much to rebuild. The galaxy will remember this day not just as the fall of an empire, but as the day humanity proved that no matter the odds, no matter the cost, they would never be defeated. As Voss looks out over the battlefield, she knows that this is just the beginning. The future is theirs to shape.
The news spreads like wildfire. The fall of the Shalkari capital ignites a flame across the galaxy. Across planets once enslaved, from the barren moons of Scarxus to the vibrant jungles of Thalrus, a universal cry of freedom rings out.
alien species, once crushed under the heel of the Shalkari, now rise with vengeance. The once imposing command structures of the Shalkari crumble, and rebellion sweeps through their outposts and slave hubs. The Shalkari ruling caste, who had long held power through fear, is overthrown in a storm of interstellar fury. The war that had seemed unthinkable, impossible, now becomes a reality. Every planet that had borne the mark of the Shalkari's cruelty rejoices, and in their place, new leaders emerge, reclaiming their right to freedom. The Shalkari's biolinked soldiers, now free from their mental shackles, stand alongside their former oppressors. This is not just the fall of an empire. It is the birth of a new era, one where tyranny no longer reigns and the galaxies unite in the name of resistance. The Lost return, reuniting a stolen generation. In the aftermath of victory, the galaxy starts to heal. Ships from Earth and other allied planets race to the corners of the universe, bringing back the children once stolen by the Shalkari. Orbiting stations and planetary embassies become emotional centers for tearful reunions as families reconnect with their lost children. But not every reunion is as joyous as it seems. Juno, once a child stolen by the Shalkari and now grown, struggles with her identity. She has forged new bonds, formed new family ties with those who fought alongside her. As her ship approaches Earth, her heart races, not from excitement, but from fear. The question of belonging haunts her. Should she return to the world she once called home, or stay with the people who raised her? Her choice is painful, filled with the weight of her transformation. The emotional complexity of reunion is felt across the galaxy. Some children have forgotten their origins, their memories twisted by years of Shalkari control. Others, like Juno, have embraced new identities. Their struggle is not just for a place to belong, it is to reconcile the person they have become with the child they once were. Earth reborn, from backwater to galactic power. The Shalkari are defeated, and Earth, once dismissed as a primitive outlier, emerges from the shadows. The galaxy, in awe of humanity's resilience, begins to fear and respect the blue planet that had stood against the might of an empire. The human race, whose every move had once been watched with disdain, is now seen as an unpredictable force of nature, capable of the unimaginable. In recognition of its pivotal role in the war, Earth is offered a seat at the newly rebuilt Galactic Council. For the first time, humanity has a voice on the interstellar stage, a voice that echoes not with demands for dominance, but with a call for peace, unity, and protection of those who cannot defend themselves. Earth is no longer just a planet in the galaxy. It is a symbol of strength, of survival, and of an unpredictable force that even the most advanced civilizations cannot ignore. The warriors rest. Voss walks away from war. General Voss stands on the balcony of her new quarters, overlooking the bustling city beneath her. She's earned her rest. Her name, whispered in alien halls, etched into monuments, is now a legend. She had led the charge against the Shalkari with unwavering determination, sacrificing much in the process. But now, the weight of leadership is behind her. Voss had always been a symbol of human will, a beacon of maternal strength and moral conviction. She did not step away from the war as a victor. She stepped away as a mother, a leader, and a symbol. Her retirement is quiet, but the echo of her actions ripples across the galaxy, inspiring new generations of warriors and leaders. In her final moments of military service, she feels a bittersweet peace. The war is over, but its effects are far from forgotten. For now, though, she can rest, knowing that she had played a part in a new chapter for humanity. A new crusade, ending the shadows of the past. While the Shalkari are gone, their influence lingers in the dark corners of the galaxy. Networks of child trafficking, hidden factions that once served the Shalkari still exist. Earth, now a beacon of hope, leads the charge to hunt down these remnants.
The mission is no longer a war. This is a crusade for justice.
Human ingenuity and advanced technology become the tools for this mission. AI scouts scour the galaxy, uncovering hidden stations and uncovering secrets that have been buried for centuries. Survivors of the Shalkari's rule lend their voices, offering testimony and insight to dismantle the remaining factions. Humanity has a new calling: to ensure that such horrors are never repeated and that every child can live free. Legacy written in the stars, humanity's future begins. The future of humanity is bright. The galaxy has witnessed the rise of Earth, not as conquerors, but as protectors. Former enemies now sit at the table as allies, and the children who were once lost have become ambassadors of hope and peace. As Earth's influence expands, the lessons of the past will remain clear: unity, resilience, and the fight for justice. The stories of Earth's triumph are told across planets and star systems. Songs are sung in honor of the humans who faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. The victory was not just military, it was ideological. Humanity showed the galaxy that it would not tolerate oppression, and in the process, humanity was transformed into something greater. The war has ended, but the fight for a better future is only just beginning. The distant stars twinkle like a sea of diamonds as the ship's quiet hum reverberates through Ilara Voss's aging frame. Her hands rest lightly on the console, eyes watching the pale blue marble of Earth below her. The war is over, its scars etched deeply into her soul, yet now a new era unfurls in the stars. Ilara's gaze turns to the holographic display beside her, where Juno stands before a sea of alien faces in a gleaming council chamber. Juno, once a child torn from her home, now radiates strength and purpose. Her voice, once fragile, now carries the weight of wisdom earned through pain and survival. The ambassador's words ripple through the vastness of space, words that heal, that bridge, that unite. The shattered mind of the girl who had once lost everything is now the beacon of diplomacy, a symbol of hope. Ilara's heart swells. She thinks, we did this. We gave them a future. Humanity, once disregarded, now holds the attention of the galaxy. In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, each word from Earth's delegation commands respect. No longer are humans seen as primitive rebels. Now they are the moral compass of the cosmos, standing tall not through weapons, but through courage, sacrifice, and the memory of those who fought and died for something greater than themselves. Every speech from Earth echoes with the strength of the past, shaping the future. It's not about dominance, it's about compassion. And in that compassion, the universe listens. The moon is silent, its surface scarred from 1,000 forgotten battles. Amid the rubble of an ancient Shalkari outpost, Voss stands, her back straight, eyes searching the horizon. A lone figure steps from the shadows, a Shalkari survivor, weary and broken. She approaches Voss with hesitation, her voice trembling with a question centuries in the making. Why did you fight for children not your own? The words hang in the air, heavy with the weight of countless generations of conquest and loss. For a moment, time seems to stop. The question isn't just a query, it's a reckoning. Voss meets the survivor's eyes, calm and steady. There's no anger, no resentment, just the quiet strength of someone who's seen the worst of the universe and yet still holds on to what matters. She smiles, a soft, knowing smile. The answer is simple, yet profound. A truth that transcends the brutality of war. Because they were ours. The words reverberate through the ruined moon across the galaxy. It's a finality, an unshakable truth that will echo for generations to come.
Not just that humanity fought, but that humanity fought for what was right, for children, no matter their species, their origins, or the cost. The Salkari survivor, her eyes wet with tears, nods slowly. She understands now. Because they were ours. The words are not just an answer, they are a rebirth. A promise that no matter how far the galaxy stretches, humanity will always fight for the lost, for the forgotten, for what's right.